Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. All right. Hi. Hopefully, oh my God. Hopefully my sultry tones are coming through okay. Hi, hi, hi. Lovely to see you. I know it's early. It's very early. I think it looks like my situation looks pretty okay. So yeah. Hi. If you are sometimes here, occasionally, you may not recognize what we're looking at. This is just my desktop, by the way. Yes, if you know who Victoria is, that's her. She's the best. I love her. Anyway, when you're an anime nerd, you cry all day. I wanted to get something together because a couple of my friends who are on the Joe Hill's Discord have. Sorry. I got distracted by messages from people on my phone. Okay. I wanted to try and put something together that was like a very basic guide for Litematica. Not because it's not prevalent across all of the interwebs, but because I think sometimes there's random use cases for Litematica that don't really require you to know the full entire thing. Like you might have a friend who uses it a ton, and they're like, "Yo, do you want to come help me with my build?" And you're like, "Hey, I've never used Litematica before. I don't know how to do that." It is sometimes a learning curve to figure that out. So I wanted to try and make something that would be like for that person who's like, "I want to help my friend, but I've never used this before," kind of vibe. And then, maybe we can expand out from there. So the way I was going to do it today is using Prism Launcher specifically. So if you play Minecraft, you may do it by, clicking on the Minecraft icon within like Microsoft's launcher. You might have lots and lots of different ways in which you go and, access stuff. To actually launch your application. The way that I do it, and that a lot of people have started to do it, is using Prism Launcher. So this is my Prism Launcher. You may see the things. It may look a little interesting. Sorry if everything is really tiny and stuff like that. I'm actually going to move my chat, I think, over here so we can have a little bit more space because I feel like I tend to move things around on this side of the screen. Also, just gonna maybe make this a little. I don't want to make it that much smaller. All right. Well, either way, we'll put this over here, and we'll go from there. So you can see here, this is just a launcher of some sort. It brings you in this sort of stuff. Now I'll try to. That was one thing I was going to do, which is link something for Prism Launcher in my chat here. Give me a second to grab that. Prism Launcher is free. I use it. It's very nice. It's good for mod pack management. And Litematica is a mod. So we'll minimize that. And we're going to post it in here. Prism Launcher. There you go. So this is what I'm using. I've downloaded this previously. And you can see I have a couple of different instances of Minecraft in here. They're ungrouped, whatever. We're going to pretend that we're just starting off here and we've just downloaded Prism Launcher. All right. So I've logged in, I've downloaded it and I've logged into my account. I've kind of set up a decent amount of stuff. I'm going to double check if there's any updates real quick. Cool. I'm running on the latest version. Yay. So if you want to create an instance in here, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new one. This is some of the pieces to go through for this. I'm creating a new one so that it basically resets all my settings so that we can go through the Litematica settings together as well. Because otherwise I'll just be like, yeah, and this is how this works. And I have this hotkey set and you won't have that hotkey set because I set it like for, forever ago and don't remember that it's supposed to be something else. So rather, do that. So, okay, we've got our custom. We want to be in 1.21.10. I think that's the vibe here. I might... hold on one second, actually. I might have to double check that you might see Kindle as his name here. He helps me with all my mods. So, you know, it doesn't quite work that way. I've opened the folder for this on the side here. And here I can actually just bring this in there. So you can see this. This is like the folder that I just opened. So this is the instance. I have it in Prism Launcher. I can go in here and I can see all these different things. You can see the kind of mods that I have that are existing in here. I'm just double checking that the mods that I have, which I think are stored in here, that none of them, I actually can't check it here. I'm going to go into editing this particular instance and I'm just double checking that the mods I have aren't just, especially for Litematica, isn't just a one that I pulled from Kindle's mods that may have extra, like they might be a little bit more advanced or they might be a beta version, because we actually take a look and he takes a look at like Sakura's profile, which is one of the major contributors to the Litematica open source stuff. Anyway, this is maybe a little bit overkill. I'm just making sure that the way I'm going to do this makes sense. All right. Now, we will fully pretend that there is not an instance. I'm going to add another instance. We're going for 1.21.10. We're going there. We've got all this stuff ready. I'm going to choose a mod loader. I like Fabric. It feels like the easiest one for me. There are a bunch of different ones. I think some people use Quilt, some people use Forge. But if you're going to use mods, you generally want to use, you know, a mod loader of some sort. I like Fabric. I feel like it's the most prevalent that I've seen, so I'm going to use Fabric. We're on 0.18.1 for Fabric. Seems pretty good. Okay, we've got all of this stuff. I don't need to import anything. This is something random with an imported mod pack. This is where you could like immediately bring in different things. I'm going to do this the way I know how, which is I'm going to create the instance and then add mods, just because that's how I'm feeling. So I'm going to call this Litematica tutorial because I'm probably going to delete this afterward. And I'm going to say, okay. Now, it's in the ungrouped category. You'll see it right here. Yay, there it is, Litematica tutorial. It also popped up along this little sidebar here. Also, I should probably try to zoom in. Well, I'm just going to hope that you can see this. I can also just... No. Okay. We have this Litematica tutorial. It's here. This is an instance of Minecraft. So if I was to launch this, it's just going to launch as a regular old Minecraft instance. It's vanilla. It doesn't have any mods in it. The only thing it has is like a fabric loader, but that, you know, I haven't added anything to that right now. So it's not going to have anything too crazy in it. So let's see what it looks like when it loads. Just so that you can see what this is like.
Press enter to enable the narrator.
This is, you can tell that it's very loud. And
narrator,
okay.
Off.
Okay. We're going to click continue. And I'm going to immediately just go into musics and sounds and bring this all the way down. So this is, it has all of the like basic things in here, right? You go into single player, there's nothing here. It's just giving me new world. I don't have any other worlds in there. Multiplayer, it's giving me like that beginning third line party play kind of thing. Looks for games on your local network. There are none. And it can also show you, you know, realms. So I have a realm here and I have a friend's realm here. But yeah, completely just baseline. This is where we're at. So now I'm going to quit this one. Quit that instance. That's what it looks like when you haven't added any mods. And I'm going to go in and add some mods so that we can actually work on Litematica. So the way that I add mods in here, you can add files themselves if you're a little more keen on that. But I like to use like Prism's launcher and use its resources that connect directly to Modrinth and CurseForge. So in this situation, we can this actually just queries those mod sites. Modrinth and CurseForge are the two like most prevalent Minecraft mod sites, and most, I think, all the stuff on there, it's like open source and free for the most part. Now, don't quote me a ton. I prefer Modrinth usually, because CurseForge has sometimes had a little bit less. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't quite remember why I like Modrinth more. I just do, and that's where I'm at in my life. So, things that we need to download to get Litematica. Litematica mod. I'm also just making sure I can grab things here. So Litematica is a modern like schematic mod. We're gonna grab a thing here. Okay. What I'm really looking for is all of the compatibility stuff. Okay. I'm actually just gonna go Litematica. I'm gonna grab that. So we can see here Litematica by Massa. There's donate information. So there's external links that go to certain GitHub repos, wikis, source code, and a Discord about it. And it tells you a little bit about what's there. Down here, you can see the versioning. And you can see, like, okay, here's the release for 1.21.10, right? We have all of that fun stuff there. It's all good. I am going to click Select Mod for download, and I'm going to review and confirm. Now, here's something that's really nice about Prism Launcher. It will tell you that you're downloading dependencies. So Litmatica's here, but in order to run Litematica, you need Malib, or Malib. Everybody says it a different way. But it's required in order to run Litematica for the first time, or at all. It's a dependency, right? Toggle dependencies. You can see, okay, that unchecked that. So now I'm going to retoggle dependencies. We're okay. And we're going to click OK. And that populates into this mod list here. So I've got our cool mod list. We can see Litematica, Malib, cool. This is just like a supporting library, right? I think it quite literally is a library mod required by Massa's client-side mods. Massa is a very prolific builder of mods for Minecraft, which a lot of people really enjoy their stuff, and it's great. So we've got all this stuff. I'm just going to do a little check for updates. This you can do whenever, and make sure that we're good here. We've got Litematica, we've got Malib. I think this should work. So I'm going to go ahead and launch. And you'll get a bunch of okay, what's the log as you try to launch this? Are there any issues? All this sort of stuff. And there might be some troubleshooting that you have to do. I find that sometimes you'll get to this point where you are on the screen, you might click single player or multiplayer or something like that, and then it'll get upset for some reason, right? But for the most part, you're okay. I'm going to put myself in peaceful mode, in creative. I'm going to allow commands, and I'm just going to call this Litematica tutorial. Woohoo! And I'm just going to create a new world, I think. It might be good to... Yeah, let's just do it in a regular old world. Let's create a new one. You can also see all of this stuff generating in the log file there. I'm going to make this bigger so we can look at it. All right, and I have jumped in to a new instance of Minecraft. Hello, I am here. I can move around. It's going to give me all of the new stuff, and my FOV is moving in a way I really hate, and that's fine. But that's what happens when you have a new instance of Minecraft, right? You don't have all your fancy settings. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is make a cute, tiny, little house. Is that what I'm feeling? 2 by... Yeah. We're gonna make a cute little house. It's gonna be so cute. And I'm just gonna put twinkle planks as my floor and my walls. Cute little house. I'm also gonna grab a torch just real quick. Because why not? Alright. We made our cute little house. It's cute as hell. We have a nice little house. We like it. It's nice. It does what we want it to do. Yay! Little house. Cute. It's not that cute. Shh, don't tell anybody. So, let's say I'm like, heck yeah, I really, really love this house. I really, really want to move it into another world. And I don't really want to, like, do too much crazy stuff with it. I'm going to create a schematic of this particular thing. So, if we go in here, I think there are a couple of different hotkeys. I think you click N? No. NP? NP? Oh, man. Okay. Well, let's double check that we actually have all this stuff working. Oh, boy. You know, it would help if I'm going to do something that's completely new to know... There we go. To know what the hotkeys are. So, I just pressed M. That's the default hotkey for opening the Litematica menu, right? And the first thing you're going to see here is this. And that's M as in Mary. M. Yes. So, we can see this little menu. It has a bunch of little buttons on it and things like that. The things we see here are schematic placements, loaded schematics, all that sort of stuff. A schematic is basically a blueprint of a build in Minecraft. I'm going to start by trying to select this area. So I'm going to do area editor. And you can see it's in simple mode. So I'm actually going to go back. Area selector is in simple mode, area selection browser. There's a bunch of different things here. I'm going to tell you the things I use, which is I use the area editor in simple mode, right? So I'm going to click on this. And here we can see, okay, selection mode is simple. We have it in corner mode. We have a manual origin off, right? And we can make a selection. So I'm going to say that this is my cute little house. Cute little house. And I'm going to click set, which names the other subregion. Now, if I click here and click move to player, this is setting this corner at the location that my player is. And it'll have a default rendering type. So I've clicked escape to get out of that menu. And we can see, oh, there's this weird box here. This is where I was standing, so that's where the corner has set up. I want this to go all the way around my build. So I'm going to go over here and stand here, open the menu again, click on area editor, and move the second corner to here. Let's take a look. Okay, so now we have this little box around our guy. You can see it only really covers this entire edge here, so I'm going to click on M, go to area editor, and I'm going to raise the Y level so that it covers this entire little house. Okay, now let's check it. We've got our little house. It's in a box. Nice box. The other thing we can see is the box does not go all the way down into the ground. So we might want to lower it just a little bit because we do have a floor in here. And maybe we would like the terrain around it. So we'll go M, area editor, and we'll take the lower one and go down one. All right, now this is in here. You can see, okay, it's taking on the bottom there. And I'm going to save it. So we go back in here, M, area editor, and we're going to click Save Schematic. This is going to take you to a little thing here that's basically a file manager, right? This is the schematics folder that's within your instance of Minecraft. I'm going to save my schematic. You can do a bunch of different things here. I just click Save Schematic for the most part. So there we go. And now we have a little mapping of our cute little house. All right. We've done this and we've got it there. Now, let's think about how we do other things. I'm going to save this, and let's say I am going to my friend's server. Now, actually, I'm going to move this over here for a sec and minimize this because I don't want to just, accidentally dox a friend's server. We're going to do I'm actually going to double check something. All right. Cute. And they're doing the Love Tropic stuff. Joe's doing the Love Tropic stuff right now, so I will probably raid that after this. Would help if I looked at my admin operations. I will go ahead and do that. Oh boy, I'm going to disconnect from that guy and I'm going to add a server. Don't mind me, this will only take a little bit. I say, crying. Okay, there it is. There is the actual thing. Copy that. Yes, I'm not going to be able to connect to the server because I didn't put the right server address in. Okay, cool. There we go. Done. And let's see if I can connect to it now. There we go. Okay. So we have opened our server, right? We've added our server as a server that we can connect to. And this is Vanillish. Which is in Joe Hills's Patreon servers. I'm going to go ahead and connect to it. We're on here. We are streaming, and we are in a brand new instance, so everything looks a little different. This is this is kind of like my base area right now. But let's go ahead and say, all right, how's my inventory looking? Not amazing. Do I have an elytra on? No. All right, I'm gonna go to a little grassy area where I think I'd like, do I have shoes on? No. Where I think I'd like to put my little house. All right. Now this is the situation where your friend has sent you a schematic, let's say, and you've saved it in your schematics folder. And you're like, oh, my friend wants me to help build this little house. I'm going to put my little house right over here. I think that's my vibe. I'm going to set it up right here. This is where my little house is going to go. Now, I don't have the materials to build the little house, but still. All right, I'm going to stand here. And now I'm going to look for my schematic. So I'm going to click M. Sorry about the horns if you can hear them. And now we want to look for, to load a schematic. So I'm going to click on Load Schematic, and it's going to take me to my schematics folder for this instance. We can see, hey, cute little houses in here. I click on that, tells me who it's by, tells me like some of the details around it, and we can look at a bunch of different things. So I'm going to click Load Schematic, and because this is clicked here, the Create Placement, it's going to immediately place it in the world. Now, you'll notice when we click Placement, it's not, I haven't like just immediately put it in here. It's a schematic, so it's got this transparency around it. It's got all these like random things here. Very interesting, right? But we see, it's my little house. It's my little house. It's so cute. Hello. Hi, little house. Did you just say Joe's doing loaf dropping stuff? You know what? I might have. Also, hi, Mardigan. But hey, look, it's my little house. It's how it works. It's so cute. We can see this here, but obviously, like, we can just walk through it. The pig's walking through it. It's just a schematic. It's just a visual thing for us right now. You might notice that there are red boxes, and red boxes are indicating errors. You can see in the top right of my screen, it says the schematic says this should be a grass block, and the client, which is, the real world, we can say, says this is actually short grass. If we remove the block, it'll just show what the schematic says, because it's like, hey, there's nothing here. You could place this block here. So we have all of this stuff. And I'm going to try and get rid of all of the errors that I can to help it out. And let's say this is where I want my little house to go. I don't have the materials for this. Should have probably made it in something that I know materials for, but yeah. So you can place blocks like you normally would where the schematic is. Also, you can toggle things. So I'm going to go to M, and let's show you what this looks like. So we had just clicked on Load Schematic. We had loaded this schematic. I'm clicking Escape to get out of that. We can look at Loaded Schematics. So this is if maybe you didn't have a placement yet or that sort of thing. We're going to click Exit, and we're going to look at schematic placements. So this is our schematic placement. This is our little house here, and you can see that the placement is on. If you watch, like outside of my screen, if we click placement off, little house has disappeared, right? Also, hopefully I don't die here. I hope somebody sleeps. M, and if we want to turn it back on, placement on. Let's say I put this in the wrong spot. I'm like, oh no, wait, actually I wanted my little house over here. I can do M, schematic placement, and I can click Configure, and this will show you this menu. So I know this is a lot, but the main things that you're going to want to look at on this thing is the placement origin. The placement origin is, basically the locator point, the point that we are deciding is how we set something down. So the way I do this is I might click Move to Player. Now that I've clicked Move to Player, we can see that the origin is set on this little corner of our little house. So the little house is moved. It's over here now. At least in, schematic land. You see this. And maybe we're like, oh, I don't want that to be so high up. I want it to be a little bit lower into the ground. You can press M, click your schematic, click Configure, and here's our Y. Now you can see, here's the things we can click to like increase or decrease. We right click with our mouse to decrease. And if we wanted to go really far, we could. So I'm going to go right click, and now we're down here. We can see this, and we have a friend. We're in Danger Mario Land, and that's fine. Let's say I'm like, wow, this area is too dangerous, and I need to move my little house somewhere that's a little bit safer. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should move my little house to spawn, and not where I might die. I'm going to go ahead and go towards spawn, which I think is this way. It would help one of the reasons that I use mods. Do you not use a stick as a magic wand? So I don't, but that is a valid way to move things around. You can use a stick, and I might actually demonstrate that once I'm safe as a magic wand. I'm just trying to run towards civilization real quick because, yeah, this is kind of our spawn area here. It's cute. It has nice things. There's a little pond. Zagrean's fishing, apparently. You can see that. He's doing his best. All the good stuff. And let's say I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to build my little house right over here. This seems like a great place for my little house, and there's no danger here, I think, anyway. If I die, it's fine. Clicking M. Actually, let's make a stick real quick. I didn't need to do that. Make a stick. So this is what Mardigan's talking about. If you hold a stick, it can be used as a Litematica tool, and you can do like a placement, region things. You can see that it's in a certain mode. It tells you the origin of the particular one you've selected, that sort of thing. And if you are not being attacked by a zombie, sorry for flash warning. If you were alive, and it's daytime, let me see if I can find a bed real quick. Bed. Anyone? Bed? Free cow stuff. Oh. Bed. Anyone? Bed? I'm gonna steal Sense bed. Don't tell them. Oh my god. Hello. Steal. I'm hanging out with Sense cat. Don't worry about it. We're good? Okay. It's daytime. We're safe now. Yay! Alright. Going back to where I want my little guy to be. If you hold a stick, you can click. I'm left clicking, and it moves the location to where I've clicked. So it's actually moving the origin to the block I'm clicking on. You can see if I go over here, click. Now, I don't use the stick because I'm one of those people who has sticks in my inventory a lot, and I don't remember how to turn off using the stick. And so instead, I just try to avoid holding sticks, which is maybe not the valid thing to do. But I'm just going to tell you what how I do it otherwise. So if I wanted to move this, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to use the sticks. No sticks. I'm too confused. I don't know what's going on with the sticks. I want to move my house over here. I would go to M, click on my schematic placement, click configure, and move to player. Other things you can do with your schematic, also I'm sorry if you hear my dogs being mad at each other, is you can rotate things. So if we click on M, we click on schematic placement, configure, we can click rotate, and it rotates around the origin point. So you can see rotate is CW90, we can rotate 180 degrees, and we can rotate CCW90. Counterclockwise? I think that's what that means. So it's clockwise 90, clockwise 180, counterclockwise 90. And then we can also mirror the build against their stuff. I don't really use the mirror for the most part. I get confused. But yeah, the stick is honestly probably more valid than how I'm doing it. So, you know, learn the ways that you feel comfortable with. Let's say now I'm like, I really like where I put my house. This looks great. I'm going to make sure I don't accidentally move this by clicking lock. Now that this is locked, if I try to move it to player or move it around, the placement is locked and can't be modified. I won't move it. This is the same with our sticks. If we go back and steal our sticks, I might try to move it. It'll say, hey, placement's locked, can't be modified. This is my lifesaver because when I'm holding sticks, I might do silly things and try to move things around, right? It's not how it goes. We've decided, okay, our house is going here. This is great. You can see all the different things. You can see all the fancy stuff, etc., etc. And my friends, you know, I'm like, okay, I want to build my little house here. I've got all of this different stuff. It's here, and I can place blocks here And I know that, grass is going to grow here, so it's okay that I didn't, put grass there, whatever. Do all of this different stuff. When you place a quote-unquote wrong block, it's going to highlight it in red. Also, all of these visual settings are things you can change in your configurations. So I'm like, okay, cool. I am good. I'm actually just going to remove this because I'm not actually going to put a little house here because I don't want to bother spawn people. But, little house. Very sweet. Very cool. Yay. Now, we have all this stuff. We managed to put in the schematic. It's great. I'm going to say, actually, I'm done with this. I don't want my little house there. I'm done with the schematic. I'm going to press M, go to my schematic placement. I'm going to configure, and I'm going to unlock it. Right? Now what I can do, also, oh wait, I should say this. The other thing that you can do as well is check if you have all the right blocks. If you click on Schematic Verifier, it takes you to this. A schematic verifier is something that's going to show you if you've put the right blocks in the space, show you what you're missing, that sort of thing. So you can see it says wrong blocks, wrong states. That's really nice for redstone. Extra blocks and missing blocks. If we click on Start Verification, it's going to tell us all of the things that are different about our schematic in this world. So we can see that there's wildflowers where a grass block should be. It'll say expecting this, and we found these things. That's for wrong blocks. Wrong states, you might say, that might be a redstone situation if there's redstone in the thing, or it might be that you've placed a stair and it's in the wrong direction. That's a different thing. And then extra blocks, it'll say, hey, there's extra blocks in your schematic. We expected air to be here. And then missing blocks, it'll say, hey, you're missing some torches, you're missing some things, and that sort of stuff. So it gives you a kind of rundown here, shows you all of the things that you might need, all that good stuff. If you have changed this or are worried about it, you can always reset the data and start the verification again. If you have a really big schematic, you might need to start verification, and then it'll start a task within Minecraft to show you all the different places, and you might have to run around and load the chunks that the schematic's in. But generally, you're not going to have to worry about that too much. So we're good. We have our info HUD on, all the good stuff. If we turn this info HUD off, by the way, I think, yeah, no. I don't know what the info HUD means. Never mind. I'm supposed to know things, and I don't. And that's okay. You don't have to know things. All right. The other thing you can look at is your material list, which will tell you the total materials that are in your schematic, and it might also tell you what's missing and what you have in your inventory that could help. Right? It says I have 18 torches in here, so I can use some of those torches to do stuff. So, lots and lots of fun things here. All the good stuff. We have our cute little house. I'm going to say I'm done with the schematic. I'm going to remove it, which just removes it from the placements. I can go into my loaded schematic, and you can see it's still here. I've just unloaded the placement of it. Now I'm going to unload it from my memory entirely by clicking unload. And now it's nowhere in here, that sort of stuff. You can always go into load schematics and pull it out from our schematic stuff. All right. Now, you've done all of this stuff. That's really fun. Very, very cool. Yay, yay. I love it. It's awesome. Cool. I want to help my friend. My friend says to me, hey, I have a schematic of my really cool build, and I want to build it. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from this. And I'm going to go back. I'm actually just going to fully quit the game. I have a friend who, I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to go, I don't actually need to click edit. I'm going to go into the folder and grab schematic out of here. I have an old, let's see. I'm just thinking about a cute little build that I could pull in. That's not little. It's cute, but it's not little. Programmable sorter, menorah. You know what? That's it's thematic. We're pretty close to two things. I'm going to minimize this, grab this, put it there. All right. Your friend sends you a Litematica file or some MBT file. There's different formats, right? And you download it. Let's say you have it in a folder, you have it on your desktop, whatever you're doing there. And you're like, ooh, I would really, really like to, have this so I can use it. All that good stuff. I'm going to open my Prism launcher again. I'm going to go to this instance and I'm going to click on folder. This will open up a file explorer box that brings you to the folder of that Prism launcher. Like it's showing you that instance for this particular thing. And you might see, okay, instance, all this stuff. You click into Minecraft and your schematics are saved in this little thing here. So you can see there's all these different stuff. You got your screenshots, all these fancy things. You can also look and see there's where your mods are. If you were doing this in like a file share way. So let's go to Minecraft. We're going to click on schematics. We see our cute little house, but we want to add our menorah. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to pop it in there. I've moved it in there. And now we have that Litematica file in here. I'm going to close that. And I'm going to open up our Litematica tutorial instance again. Also, you do not need to fully exit the game in order to do that. You're not like changing the Minecraft instance in any way. You're just adding a file to a folder. So if I wanted to, I could leave the game running and still move that stuff around. So here I am, I'm in here, I'm going to do single player, and I'm like, hey, I want to build my menorah for my friend in my world. We have this guy, there's our little house. And let's say we're like, I'm kind of annoyed by this box, I kind of want to get rid of it. The way I get rid of it is M, and I click area selection browser. Is that what I do? No, I click area selection mode normal so that it goes away. Now, does that mean when you click back, it'll be there? Yes. Do I worry about that? Not really, because the only time that I'm going to switch back to simple is when I'm going to use the area editor again to select a different area. So I'm not worried about it. There's other ways you can do that. That's how I do it. I know it's silly. I am sorry. So let's say I want to build the menorah. Let's put it here. By this armadillo because it's cute. Click on our and now if we go into load schematics, hey look, our schematics things have the menorah in here. Going to click it, and this time I'm going to just not create the placement right away so that you can see what happens with that. We click load schematic. We've loaded it into our memory. We clicked exit, and let's take a look at our loaded schematic. You see it's here. There's several different things we can do. I'm going to go ahead and create the placement. So placement has been created for the menorah, and now we can see a menorah. Ooh, it's so fancy and nice. That's really nice. What a nice menorah. I'm going to move that over just a little bit. Looks like the placement, if we go here, and we say move to player, yep, it's at the corner. So let's say, yes, what a lovely menorah. I love it. I want it in my world. It's great. My friend has given it to me. It's awesome. You can see this pink is highlighted here. Interesting that I can't see the info screens. Oh, there we go. I see. So, you see, okay, here's all this stuff. Pink means that this is a block that's not supposed to be there. I'm going to punch that out a little bit. If this was a bigger build, we might be like, ooh, I wonder what's available to us. We click on here, we do schematic placements, configure, and let's say we're trying to verify the area. You can see here, extra blocks are short grass, and then you've got like some missing blocks, and you might need to gather some torches or gather some quartz stairs, all that good stuff so you can make your cute little menorah. Fun. So, yay. It's here. Looks like when I took this schematic, we were, in the midst, which is cool. Fun things. Because we're in creative, we can just pick block. By the way, the really nice thing about schematics too is that because it's a schematic and you're using Litematica, you can actually, if you know how to pick block, I use middle click, right? And it'll give you the block. You can use that on schematics. So if you click middle click there, it just gave me a block of quartz because it says, oh, that's a schematic. I can just grab that. And that's just there. You can just do that, which is fun. Now I've placed this, place this, pick that block, place that block, building a menorah, light the menorah, fun stuff. All these cool things, right? You can also see that there's certain lighting and things like that, which is fun. Cool. So let's say we've built some of our stuff here. Yay. And yay. We built all this. It's great. That's awesome. So we can do this just, looking at it and checking what the block is. We can, hover over something and check, is it facing east? Is it waterlogged? What's the shape? That sort of thing. And let's say I misplaced this guy and I instead place it like this. It'll show up in like this orangey thing and it'll say your client shows this is facing south, but your schematic wants it to face east. Okay, cool. You can always break it and just put it back. That sort of thing. And then if I accidentally put the wrong block there, it'll show up as red. Yay! All the good stuff. We have our cute little menorah. It's fun. Now, this is really little, and you could probably think, okay, this is fun, that's cool and all, but, what if I misplace or this sort of stuff? Now, the cool thing about Litematica is you can see all of these different things, and then you can also use other mods to modify with it. So now I've done all this fun stuff. Yay. We have this here. That's awesome. I had a good time. I'm going to save. I'm going to quit the title. I'm going to quit the game. And now I'm like, I want to show you some other pieces. The partnered tool that I use when I'm using Litematica is Tweakaroo because it has a lot of different mods built into it. So I'm going to look at this by clicking Edit, Mods, and I'm going to look and download mods. Tweakaroo gives you a couple of different things. I'm only going to explain the things that feel relevant for using Litematica. Tweakaroo has a lot of different stuff, but just the stuff that is relevant for Litematica. So here it is. I'm going to select the mod for download, review. Looks like we're good. We click OK. Let's make sure that this all launches okay. So version, click on launch. Make sure that we can get in here. Make it big. All right, we're in here. Click here, click here. Now you can see, like I had this schematic up here, but it looks like it's not loading properly. You might need to just toggle placement just to make sure that it loads. All right, cool. We have this thing here. I'm actually going to move, let's say I want to make another menorah over here. I'm going to configure and move to player. Heck yeah, and so the map of this little schematic has moved over here. We still have this guy here because it actually exists in the world, which is cool. Awesome. Menorah. Now, let's say this is, oh, hey Kindlelist. Let's say this is a build and it's a little bit bigger and you're like, oh, I really want to use this in some different way. I'm going to show you if we go, the default selector for Tweakaroo is X and C together. XC. Oop. XC. think. XC? XC. Okay. And it brings you to Tweakaroo configs. Now this has a lot of stuff. I'm only going to show you the stuff that I think is relevant for Litematica. And the nicest thing here is if I'm in the right thing, I think it's hotkeys, or it's Yeats, or I put it in an easy. If this is not right, I'm so sorry. Okay, so maybe it's not in here. We can look at all this stuff. Hotkeys. Okay. We didn't need to do that. I'm just dumb. It's fine. Easy place is a very nice thing that we can use. Yeah. Yep. Don't worry. I'm just here. And it's fine. We can also easy place hold enabled easy place mode. There's different things here. So easy place mode. Turns out you didn't even need to download Tweakaroo. I just get all of my things mixed up, and I'm so sorry. Also, you know what? Makes sense because I still have my setting up stream stuff on here. Yeah, if I had set up stream, I probably would have known this. So let's toggle on easy place mode. You can see here when enabled, then simply trying to use an item or place a block on schematic blocks will place that block in that position. So we're gonna click true, which looks great. And now I can show you this. I'm going to try and place a dirt block right here, but I didn't. It immediately toggled me over to the quartz block I was holding and placed it instead. Now this does work in survival as well. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a bunch of quartz blocks. I'm going to give myself a bunch of quartz slabs, and I'm going to / game mode survival. In survival you can do this too. So let's say I have all of these in my inventory and I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going to try and click that with that. Oh, I put the block down. I put the quartz down. That's great because it's what it wanted me to do. Let's say I try to place the quartz somewhere else. It's not going to let me do that because actions prevented by the easy place mode. So you can try and spam a lot of things, but you're not going to really put anything down because actions prevented. I can go around and I can kind of even hold to just place all of these different things. And you can see this goes so fast, right? Really, really fast. But then if you have something where you're like, oh, I don't have it in my inventory, it'll just tell you that the action is prevented by easy place mode because you don't have that. This can also get a little bit annoying because like you might be prevented from opening a chest or shulker boxes when you're within this selection area. So that's why you'll see a lot of times people put their stuff on the outside, etc., etc. So I'm going to say I really liked this. I'm going to take this down. It's all good. Easy place is in here. There are lots of other things that kind of can accompany Litematica. Like there's something like Litematica Printer where you can like hold the easy place button, which is, you know, just the place button, and things within your reach will just kind of auto populate around you. That is a different mod. It is also a mod that is very finicky. So it's something that you can use with a little bit more experience, but this will get you lots of good places and give you what you need. So to review, we've got all this fun stuff. We have some menorahs. This was just something I decided to choose. I'm going to put myself back in creative. And yay, all the good things. There we go. So, all of this to say, let's review what we've learned. Let's review what we've learned. All right. With Litematica, you can make something, or even like find a piece of terrain you really, really like and select it. So we can go M, switch our area selection mode to simple. This is the way I do it. You don't have to do it the same way. And let's say I'm just going to select random area I like. And I'm going to click set. I'm going to move a corner to myself. If you move it to the same thing, it's just going to be on the same block. Yay, I really like this air block apparently. I'm going to say, oh, I really like this shoreline. I'm going to create a box around it and even go all the way down here. Click M. Schematic placement. No, that's not what I want. Area editor. Move this other corner over here. Heck ye. Gonna check that I like everything around here. Yeah, it has this cool little area. I like what it's around. It has a little bit of the water as well. Yay, cool. Click on M, area editor, and we're going to save the schematic as a random area I like. Save it. Yay, looks awesome. We did it. Now, I'm like, hey, I want to move the random area I like, and I want to place it over here. Go and click M. Going to load a schematic. I'm going to load the random area I like. And I loaded it without a placement. So I can load it in schematic, create the placement. And now if I look over here, whoa, it's so much because it took that entire shoreline, right? It went right into it. And I've dragged it over here. It takes everything underneath too. I'm like, ooh, I want the shoreline to look cool. I'm going to move it down just a little bit. 2, 3. Want to align with the rest of the shore. Heck yeah, looking great. I like it. I like it a lot. And let's pretend we really, really like this placement. And we're in creative. That's the other thing that I haven't taught you about, which is you can actually paste a full schematic in creative by using different things. I don't do that very often because I don't generally need to, and I also don't use creative a lot. So I'll show you really quick, but you don't have to know this to use Litematica. Gonna grab a stick. I've got this here. We can see when I'm holding the stick, it's got the schematic placement. This is the only thing I use the stick for, by the way. And we're gonna look down here. You can see here, tool mode is schematic placement, right? If we click this, it's gonna change tool modes. It's just gonna like cycle through a bunch of different ones, right? So we go back to schematic placement, fill. I don't know all these tool modes, but the one that we want is paste schematic and world. So this is really nice for creative because we can take something that's just a schematic and just quite literally put it into the world. We have this here, random area I like. And this is still, you know, still how we want, I guess. I actually still want to go down a little bit. Paste schematic in world, and it's helpful to have a hotkey for this, I believe. Sorry, I keep doing this and moving it around because I think I'm doing something right. If we set the hotkey, we can go configuration, and we're going to set a hotkey for paste. So paste. Try here, paste. Schematic. Re-render, schematic edit, save area. That's fine. The paste. Toggle sign text paste. I'm supposed to know what this is. Paste, ignore commands, ignore entities. Oh, there we go. We can scroll. Paste replace behavior, paste use fill command. I don't remember what I set this to on my other thing. It would be good if I remembered how this worked. Something like this. Tool enabled, tool components. Execute require holding tool. Oh, execute action, I think, is what it's actually called. So it's like executing the tool action. Execute operation. Okay. Execute operation. I'm going to click J for now. And click escape. I think if I'm holding this and I click J, yes, it will paste the entire schematic into the world. There we go. Sorry. that is a configuration you do need to set if you're going to use like a paste command or stuff like that. And you can see why you would need to set a hotkey for that, because you don't want to just randomly be in a random tool mode and accidentally paste your schematic over and over and over again by just, clicking a random button. It would be not so great. Like, you might go over here and you might be like, hey, I'm going to move my origin over here. I'm going to put this shoreline, JK, I want this shoreline right here. Yay. And I'm just going to click J. And now it's there. Woohoo! And I'm going to put the shoreline again over here. And it's going to be chaos. I don't care. I'm chaotic. It's fine. J. Ahaha! We have shorelines everywhere and they're all the same and it's a lot. You can see how this can be super fun running around. And there's lots of other settings to play with and run around with. But this is like getting you started, where you can help out a friend with building their cool build. Or you can say, I really like this build and I'd like to put it in another world. Or, you're on let's say a multiplayer server and you say to your friends, oh, I really like this build. I'd really like to keep it. And I know that there might not be a world download available if this world goes away. You can save a schematic of your area and have that for later. Okay. That was my main reason for being here. I just wanted to make sure that people can use Litematica if they want, and that this exists. And I know it was like an hour, and it had lots of things that I could just cut out of it. That's fine. And maybe I'll do that in a better thing. But for now, this is just a VOD that I wanted to make so that people have it and feel comfortable. Because, I'm not amazingly technical with some stuff, and with other stuff I am very technical. But I wanted to prove that you can do this without a lot of like investing a ton of time. There's just a few little things you gotta do that feel comfortable. Hey, look, action prevented by easy mode. I can't close the door. Great. Make sure you set your easy mode to a toggle so that you don't. Easy place use key. Heck yeah. Easy place toggle. You'll want to set it, and you can do like Control A or something fun like that. Make sure that your keybinds aren't all over the place. And now my easy place mode is off, and I can open and close the door again. Woohoo! Alright, that's what I got. I'm going to actually end this a little early because, I want to preserve this VOD and chuck it onto YouTube so it exists for other people. And I know I'm rambly as hell, so I'm going to do that. I will raid somebody, though, because it's good, and also there's a cool event, I think, going on. So give me a second to find that. I thought that Joe was on for the Love Tropics thing, but I don't know if it's over yet. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is a charity stream. Sorry, I'm going to click it. It might be loud for a second. Okay, it's just showing me an ad. So this is a charity stream that a couple of people are doing, which is super, super great. And we want to go ahead and just rate it from here. So thank you guys for joining us. And I will go ahead and chuck you over to Love Tropics if it allows me to rate. I'm going to double check that it does. Because some places don't, and that is perfectly okay because you don't want to get like hate rated. Love Tropics is the username. Raid Love Tropics. Chat. Alright, raid has been created. Yay! Alright. Thank you guys for your attention and for your time. I will send you on over there and have a good time. You do not need to say any like does raid stuff, just have a good time. Alright, bye bye!